9 about the night. I'm pissed in so many ways that I can't even explain, America. What are we going through? What is this happening? What's happening in our world right now? Is it all illusion of the truth? This is crazy. I always like to start the show off of, what happened this weekend, because something always goes down every weekend. Yeah. But in this case, I do want to start this show off with a moment of silence for a Sacramento legend, a man that is a father, coach, and a teacher, Mr. Greg Grimes. Condolences to your family and friends. It's tragic what's happening right now in this city.
It's a loop. Seems like we're in a loop. It's kind of a repeating situation.
Yeah. What is that, 3? Well, actually more than 3. There's 3 different shootings that really impacted Sacramento.
It's that. Like that, I don't think that that's the part that really concerns me. Violence is in a lot of major cities. I just think it's for, pertaining to us, specifically, like we're, working in the industry out, we see a lot of people that frequently go out.
Right.
And so it's kind of, it's just, I think the sadness hits tenfold. It affects you differently when you see people. Them. Well, not just know. I mean, you use the word knowing loosely, but it's like you frequently see them. Mm-hmm. Like it's different. It's a relation. It's this. If you frequently see someone's face, you're gonna develop some type of connection. I know for myself, with Greg, I've been seeing him come in and out through bar.
Far-fetched.
Yeah, far-fetched spot, always coming through with a smooth handshake, always got a smile on his face,
laughing.
Always cool. So it's kind of, it's just, when you hear about a shooting happen, you're like, wow, like, okay, that's a loss of life, number one. That's just a human being, whether you knew him or not. And then when you find out who it is, and then through, Sacramento's so small too, man, because I got text message, the way I even found out, like, who it was and stuff like that was just somebody that, used to be a coworker of mine, at the day job. And, they kind of had told me who he was, because they were a little bit more closer to him, outside of nightlife, just based on his football coaching, with Intercom. So I was just like, damn. And I was like, man, I just saw him Friday night at the spot that I was working at. You know what I mean? So it sucks. And it hits even harder. Relating again. I'm a father. I just celebrated my daughter's birthday.
Facts.
This past weekend, you know what I mean? And for what I ended up finding out.
Happy birthday, Kamaya.
Oh, man, appreciate, you know what I mean? Man, King came through and, helped celebrate with her and stuff like that. But it's just, I ended up finding out just kind of, looking through a lot of articles and, through social media, like I guess his child that's now going to be survived of him, they were going to be planning their birthday. From what I ended up finding out. Damn. So it's just sad, like, my condolences to, his kid and his mom, and folks and family members. And, it don't get any better. Like I said, it just feels like a loop. It's something like that we've been dealing with. And it just hits harder when you see someone that often and it always was cool. That was the thing, man. Like my experience and my interactions with him, it was always on the up and up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
And it just sucks that that he ain't here, man. It's just sad.
It's funny because when you mention that, when we talk about our regulars, like he was one of them that and a positive regular that when he walked up, I made it a point that even if it was bad or even if it was like, oh shoot, like, oh dang, I don't know if it's good right now, if I can get it, was like, you know what, nah. Every time he comes, he's always not only does he have the smooth handshake, but he's always cool, always good.
Respect.
People.
Right.
That's how I
It was
remember.
respect.
You know what I
Right.
mean, I was like, so when I saw him, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get him in somehow. I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what sucks.
That is facts, man. I will say this, man. You know people because we see them every day. You know them from small interactions that happen periodically over time. You know, not one interaction is going to make me remember you,
Right.
but multiple. And he multiple times had a blast. You know, if he wasn't drinking, popping bottles, he was always laughing. That's one thing that I remember. He was always laughing, always smiling, having a good time. And even when there's funk and problem that may be in his area, he was always cool.
And trying to stop it or he was
He
always
was
helpful.
always cool.
Yeah.
So it's
I've
crazy.
never had a negative experience with him. And
You
so
spoke-
that's what's crazy.
You hit the nail on the head, man. You know, the regulars with respect.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and then it's just somebody, you know, we preach that all the time, you know, coming with respect, man. And he was a model of that.
Right.
He illustrated that every single time. And it's just, again, man, as a father, I cannot imagine, you know, now that what his family has to endure now with his passing and him not being here and someone ended up here recklessly taking his life over whatever that may be. It damn sure wasn't worth his life.
Right.
Whatever they was
I
talking,
can't
whatever
imagine-
the situation
I can't imagine
was.
what they did. That's
So
crazy.
it's like taking him away, you know, from his family and everything. That's it's just tragic.
Man,
You know what
it's
I mean?
just it's crazy because, you know, he was on the up and up. Men out here, you know, on the up and up, you know, coaching, teaching, handling responsibilities.
Being a leader in the community, man.
Man.
Setting a good example for kids and stuff like that when you come down to coaching football, which is an ultimate team game, ultimate
Facts.
level and display of discipline, and trying to help these kids. And him himself made it to the next level, you know, on the collegiate level, you know, with Boise State.
Boise State, he played a little
Because
bit
that I
college
didn't
there.
know. That was new. That was information I did not know. I didn't know that he played with Boise State. I know he was played at Endicott and everything, but I didn't know he played at Boise. So that was, you know, yeah. I just keep shaking my head to it because it's something we just experienced it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know,
Right.
we had DJ Geo, and then we had what happened down on K Street. You know, and I don't want to say it as if, like, you know, Warren said it back, you know, episodes ago that we was talking about it. You know, that's something Sacramento's not necessarily used to. You know what I mean? Like I actually, you know, found out I got tagged in a post about Chicago.
Oh, Illinois.
They had they had
that's
like
right.
19 people shot. I think over 8 people killed. Something just over the weekend.
Crazy.
Just over the weekend. So when you and it's hard to compare because when it's happening in your city, it's hard to make just the comparison because you know we don't like to make you know that distinction. But
It can't-
Can we get?
senseless, bro?
I don't know how much we're gonna talk about it. You stop me, tell me to shut up if I'm not supposed to. Do we know details? Do we know people that were there? You know what I mean? Like, because my biggest thing is what I want to actually speak on afterwards is what we spoke on when we talked about the shootings prior that happened, on what we thought would keep from something like this happening. Because I remember distinctly us talking about something happening that would have probably kept that situation from even maybe not happening that night and that place,
Speak on it.
but maybe somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because we're getting a lot of heat in terms of security for not handling in that situation. So I wouldn't know if we would have had an officer there.
Well, I don't know if we getting getting a lot of heat. There's some putting out heat.
Yeah,
I'll
we-
put some.
we'll-
We're gonna
We'll
address
dive into that later.
Address
But what
that
you
and
s-
address
what
them.
you said is
Facts.
true.
But what you saying is that is the underlying is the common denominator. What we were talking about is the police presence.
Police presence
and,
downtown.
and the police presence were
Was that
that not only was that a promise,
It was a deterrent.
after what happened. You know, that was something that they were going to make a point of emphasis to make sure that their presence was felt. And let's just speak about it. The venue that we're discussing, that this it's all over the news. We know
Right.
what it is. They're one of the few places that always has
Yeah.
one right there in
Always.
front.
Right.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, in this situation, that seemed not to be the case. Why that is, I'm not going to get into all
I
of that.
guarantee you, if that squad car was out front,
That don't happen.
that shit don't happen.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely
shit don't
not.
happen at all.
Now,
Absolutely.
we can't speak to whether loss of life would have happened that night, but it would not have happened where it happened.
Right.
Right.
Now, it may have been happened,
Somewhere else down the
follow
street.
somebody home and
yeah.
something like that, and that's not good either.
Right.
Right.
But as far as Because you got to think about what nobody else is talking about. Is, rest in peace to Greg and condolences to his family, his son, his mom, any family members. But we also not talking about the 4 people that got shot. We don't know what the condition they in right now.
Facts.
Hopefully they got a, smooth recovery. Hopefully a full recovery, whatever injuries they've suffered. So those are people that that got involved in this situation. That shouldn't have, and having a police car there or having a police presence like there should be, that the city and the councilman actually talked about and said that it was going to happen more. That wasn't there.
Right.
Now, is it their fault that the reason why this didn't happen? Of course not. The ones that's at fault is the one that was pulling the trigger.
100%.
So we got to make that distinction.
100%.
But when we start dissecting and finding out, okay, what's going on, it was like, okay, what did we learn from K Street? Mm-hmm. Like, isn't that the point?
Don't seem like it.
Right.
And my thing is, the reason why I'm even saying that is because, we have the show because we talk about the nightlife, man. And we want people to feel safe when it comes to the nightlife. And yes, like you just said, would that have happened somewhere else? Of course. But that isn't the case with those 4 other people that were collateral damage. You know what I mean? Right. And people don't want to go out feeling some type of way that, damn, I really got to look twice, you know what I mean, just in case something can happen. And I think that's sad. They shouldn't have to. Why? We should have that presence there. We should make sure it happens in some way, shape, or form, whatever it is. So that way people can go out and know that, well, at least if I go out into the nightlife, I'm going to be safe somewhat because of the fact that police presence is there.
That's
where I'm going at.
You have a very good point. And I hate to be the bittersweet conversation, the double-edged sword, I guess. Mm-hmm. But is it because we're so strict on letting people in, wanding them down, that they have the fear of bringing any weapons in, which is good. But in this situation, if other people know where you're at and know where you linger at, it leaves you an unarmed person in a situation. And now I shouldn't be saying that because that's speaking as if Grimes knew what was coming to him. And I wouldn't think that in 100% way he knew that this day was coming. But to me, is why
armed, he would have been.
He would have been armed. He would have been able to, I guess, somewhat be able to protect himself.
With the prior shooting, though, the other people.
Well, I think at this point we just speculate.
It is all speculation at this point.
I just, it's bad enough. I was involved directly, right in the heat of it during the K Street shooting, and unfortunately, another member of our show and host of our show was also involved in this situation and working at the venue that this took place in front of. So I want to give the mic opportunity for Warren in this situation. Like, man, like, how are you feeling about this? Like, where your mental's at with this whole thing and that unfortunate event that you had to witness and endure?
Can we get a full screen Warren real quick?
Man, honestly, it's tragic, man. It's tragic. When you go to work every night, it's not something you think you're going to experience. You know what I mean? And with it actually happening, it feels like something straight out of a movie. It's like, man, like, is this real right now? You know what I mean? Like, you're really going through it. Like, is this shit real? Like, when it's really popping off, and it's like, it's like a blur between reality and like I said, a movie, but you gotta bring everything together when it's actually going down. You gotta see if everybody is okay around you, and then you gotta just assess the situation. But I mean, mentally, me where I'm at right now, it's just I'm doing a lot of reflecting, because the longer you do this job, as you guys know, we all do this. It can happen any night,
anytime.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you start thinking about, like, man, should I keep doing this? It could happen the next night or the night after. You just never know, because that night you didn't expect that to happen. And with it being so close to 4th of July, when something like that happens, you hear gunshots. Man, you don't know if it's fireworks or gunshots.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people let off fireworks. When it gets closer to 4th, everybody letting off fireworks. Yeah. Everybody in the neighborhood letting off stuff early. So when that happens, like, you're trying to distinguish, like, man, is this gunshots or is it fireworks? And so I know, like, when it actually was going down, a guy got up and he was just like, oh man, it's fireworks. Everybody's good. Everybody's okay. And honestly, I felt relieved, like, instantly when I heard him say, like, oh, it's fireworks. I'm like, thank God, man. Thank God. You know what I mean? But you're still looking around because you're unsure. you're still looking around to make sure everybody's okay, you know. But like reliving the moment, you know, after hearing the guys say it was gunshots, me walking back to the venue door, and then seeing somebody just run as fast as they can to us, saying there's somebody dying at the corner. Like, man, like I'm gonna relive that like every day. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how you guys was raised, man. I was never raised around gunshots. Never raised where I'm going to bed and I'm hearing gunshots before I go to bed. You know what I mean? I grew up in a neighborhood where everybody knew each other. There was no guns. You know what I mean? It was a peaceful. Everybody knew each other. Like street lights come on, that's when you go home. You know what I mean? My next door neighbor was like, "Oh, you better get home." You know what I mean? So I never grew up around that. So to see something go down like that, man, it's crazy, man. It's an eye opener. You know what I mean? And it definitely has me reflecting about what do I want to do with this. You know what I mean?
That's an important part. I actually want to ask you that because that's something that when I experienced what I experienced, I think that was a conversation and a thought process that many of us that not just work in security, but just working in the nightlife in general, really started contemplating and asking themselves that question: is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it to keep doing it? You know, and I think, and granted, no matter what your decision is to keep on or get out, there's no wrong answer with it. I just knew for me, I wasn't going to let the fear dictate my decision.
Right.
If I'm going to make my, I know for me, if it was my decision that I was going to make, I said it was going to be based on my own, you know, assessment, my own knowledge, my own intelligence, and decide and make at that moment what I'm going to decide to do. And I wasn't going to let fear dictate what the outcome was going to be. Now that's
Very
easy.
true.
Now that's easy for me to say.
Hey,
That's easy for me to say, but I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about that? Is that something that I know that question you've probably been asking yourself ever since the 4th? Like, is this really worth it? Do you want to continue on doing this? Is this something that you want to, you know what, I want to take a step back?
Right.
You know, is it really worth it? Like right now, Sacramento seems to be going through a transition, and not a good one,
right?
You know, especially in comparison to other cities that, you know, that these things happen more frequent, and these things happen on a much more regular basis,
Right.
Like what questions are arriving to yourself on that?
I mean, for me, since it's happened, that's all I've been thinking about. I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth coming back? You know, and I mean, everybody, like my family, friends, they're just like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. Like, you don't need it.
Come on, bro.
You know?
I think he
Like,
answered
come
the
on,
question.
I know what you're really telling them.
I think he
I know you're
answered
really
it.
looking at your family like you don't know about that smooth.
That's-
Just want to make it feel a little better. Like, okay, I feel like I'm a little bulletproof right now.
This guy.
I mean, the smooth. I ain't gonna lie, the smooth handshakes is nice, but
Makes it
man,
easy.
like when you come down to it, man, the smooth handshake ain't worth it, man. You know, especially like, you know, when you got a little one, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, the smooth handshake, you could get that anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
you get that anywhere. It's not worth. It ain't worth losing your life.
100% tax free, motherfucker.
It is. It is.
But to get niggas pinched.
Oh my bad.
No, hey, wait though. And believe me, that night we was getting some smooth handshakes. I mean, it was smooth, real smooth. But I mean, what happened that night just throws all that out the window.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that, all that's irrelevant. Seriously, it's all irrelevant. If I could give back all that just to take back what happened that night, I would.
Yeah, I feel
Can we,
you there.
can we
You know
go
what I
back
mean?
to
Go ahead. I know you want to ask a question.
right,
Go ahead.
Because I know you
already
said,
know
is
what's
it worth
coming.
it? I know you said, you know, is it worth it? I'm not going to let the fear dictate. I'm going to say this, Rob. I wish you would have worked with us at a specific club. Because I ain't never, ever since we worked at multiple clubs. We worked at probably like, 6 or 7 clubs
Quite a
now
few.
here in
Quite a
Sacramento.
few.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there was
About-
one. That
about
you,
5 for me, yeah.
right. There was one you didn't get to work at. Oh, my God. We got
But you know why I didn't?
Oh, yeah, because of how crazy it was. And
No,
we
it wasn't
getting
because of
paid.
crazy. Yeah, y'all niggas wouldn't get
Getting
paid.
paid.
I don't care
Yeah,
about
that
the
part,
craziness.
that part.
I care about
That
getting
part.
paid.
But can you remember every night? We ain't going to bring up the club, but
Stingray. Stingray.
Yeah,
Stingray.
Stingray. You know
Stingray?
the one that got the brother, the Australian.
Didn't
dude.
8 people die? Something like that. It was crazy. That's why when they said, that was the biggest mass shooting, I was like, I thought they had more at the other Stingray place. But anyways, bro, every night people was walking out. I'm coming back. I'm going to blast you. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it
like
was.
shit.
It was a nice location, though. I
Every
really hope
night.
they open it up and revamp that. It was it's the best location right now. It's just still not open for some strange reason.
Bro, because every night
bad
people
stigma to
was trying to kill us. Every night they said they were going to shoot us. They're like, I got a chopper. I'm going to come back.
Oh, facts.
I thought, well, damn, is he going to fly? Because I didn't know what a chopper was until I knew it was a.
This nigga
Hey, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I remember that.
It's
day.
a chopper.
This who said a chopper?
I didn't realize what that shit was.
Apache.
Right.
thought he was coming
Well,
over.
one night it was crazy. I actually got
Get
in
in the
depth
chopper.
with- yeah, I got in depth with a nigga. He was like, "I got snipers on the roof right now, about to shoot you," and I was like, "Dead ass? Hold on, tell them to put the dot on me real quick. Tell them to put a dot on me. I want to see where they at." I started looking up on the rooftops to see if they was up there. But like every night we got threatened. I couldn't believe like how much people hated security at this specific Stingray place.
There was even a night where a rookie NFL player was up in that bitch, and them niggas it was outside, but still got in an argument, and niggas was talking about going to the trunk, pulling, So it's just.
Do you remember when they told me and you were the only two guards that night that were willing to kick some people out? But
Yeah.
everybody else was like, no, don't mess with them.
Nah,
they
fuck
part of
no.
that crew. We were like,
I
no,
don't,
they
I
out.
don't give a fuck about
They
that
smoking
shit.
weed in the bathroom.
Fuck
They out.
that. They gone. I
They
don't
gone.
play. I don't play.
Yeah, we
and
were
if we
the
got an
ones who-
attitude, we gonna figure the attitude out later. But as of right now, nigga, get him up out of here.
Right.
Gone. Shit, I don't give a fuck.
It didn't happen though because they were too scared. They didn't want them to come back and shoot up the place, which they ended up when we quit a week later, shot up the whole place. And then there were some people that ran and crawled and were found dead later the next day. It was crazy. But there was it was nuts.
And what's
But-
sad though is because I quit that place because them motherfuckers was playing with the money. You don't
That's
play
the
with
reason why I
nobody's
didn't
money.
jump on. But you guys speak to it. Just what you was just talking about. Security always seems to be in the middle of that.
Facts.
Yeah.
We're always in that in between line between the patrons and the aggressors,
Mm-hmm.
and it's our job to try to diffuse it as best as possible. But we're doing it with empty hands.
Right.
Unarmed.
That's
what I mean.
facts.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, we have to use our words. We have to use our tact,
De-escalate.
our intelligence. You use to that's pretty much all you got. Because I ain't got no weapon.
Right.
Pretty much all I got is the two fists in front of me. But I only can use that as if you attacking me, because you're gonna sue me if I go first.
Right.
So
That
I
part.
gotta wait for me to get swung on. So my defense is I gotta be on my toes first, so make you miss, and then I can drop you.
Right.
But
Facts.
before that, we have to use our communication skills.
Gotta use your
always
words.
having to de-escalate.
Got
And
to.
how many times is it where we've had to de-escalate situations where we knew it could have went further than that?
Facts.
Where we knew that if we hadn't stepped in and had that conversation with them,
Mm-hmm.
that this thing could have went really left.
Preach,
Or as me
preacher.
And, or as me and my homie, Escada.
Preach.
Could have went Escada.
Escada.
Escada. To the left.
It's happened a few
But
times.
anyway, but that's my point, and that kind of leads into this next thing that we kind of want to talk about.
As far as people putting out specific narratives out there
Man.
and pushing someone
Man.
to blame, I understand that.
The blame marathon goes on.
It does
that,
go
that
on.
happens on with every situation. Even the situation that happened in K Street, they started with the blame, the blame game, the who's at fault Olympics,
Right.
and they started picking and choosing. Right.
Right.
It's no different really what's going on here, but I think the question I got is it's just not uncommon. It's not uncommon to see. It comes with the territory, we expect it.
Right.
But the question is with this situation is, the opinions specifically surrounding security in this situation. Like, are they justified or are they reckless?
So when you say that, you mentioned specifically the security guards. I'm just going to read a brief statement that was publicized. I'm not going to call them a major media platform, but a platform that discusses media that happens.
They're portraying themselves to be.
They're portraying to delivering people
and
facts.
anyone.
Right.
Like
Speak on
anyone, anybody.
Right.
As
Speak
the
on
press. As
Yeah.
the press.
Wait, it's not that one right there. It's this one here. So, obviously, he definitely sent his condolences to the one that lost, but went on to say the security at this establishment knew something was going on even before the club was over, but yet this still occurred. Meaning that they're trying to place the blame on security for an incident that had nothing to do with them. Once again, we are unarmed. They're blaming security for not doing something. What were we supposed to do? We supposed to break out with some nunchucks or something and start Bruce Lee in motherfuckers?
The number one thing I think about, so I'll push on that. So you say they didn't do nothing. So the number one question is, the number one purpose for security is to do what? Is to prevent any type of threats, or at least de-escalate or be a deterrent to any type of threats coming into the club.
Patrons or the club itself.
And into the club specifically.
Into
so I want to ask this: did it happen inside or outside?
Outside. So
I'll say this: if security ain't there, does the incident happen inside or outside?
Inside.
So strike them. So that whole point that you saying they didn't do nothing.
Damn.
You sound stupid.
So here's my next thing.
That's the first thing I got to say about it.
You'll go on it.
The second thing is regards to basically the whole process and the protocol in which how a club is let out.
Thank you. Okay. You're gonna go on it. Thank you.
There comes to a certain point where the main objective is basically to get the patrons out the venue. You know, once it hits a certain time. Once shots start going, there is no more, I got to throw my cape on. Everybody's the same at that point because the only one laying down the law is the one with that trigger. So this is not like a situation where you had the police engaged and then now they in a shootout. This is not that. Right. So anyone thinks that security is on the same level as the police, that's the difference between them.
Facts.
So we have to define those lines, and I think we also have to come to the realization of what facts do you have, and what narrative are you trying to push.
Right.
You know, when I read that comment and this got passed around, that last sentence was not only unnecessary, it was reckless. It was because what 100%. You've done is if you've painted a narrative in which you're trying to lay the blame at the feet of the people who actually are trying to protect everybody, but yet you didn't mention nothing about the ones that ended up shooting.
Right. Nothing about
you didn't mention anything that they're a piece of shit.
Come forward.
You didn't mention nothing about they're the cause of this. You didn't mention nothing about, okay, what is the police action doing in the community to kind of maybe be more of a deterrent? Where were they at? Like, you're not bringing none of this up, but you went straight to security in this matter. So it almost it comes off as you being lazy.
Facts.
And when you got, and this doesn't go for this particular person, this goes for any company out there that wants to be a media outlet or anything like that. You have a responsibility. If you was with Casey, if you was because you're trying to portray yourself as a media company, yes or no?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take it. You basically trying to be KCRA.
Right.
You trying to be SAC-B.
Wanna be.
If there was a reporter with those companies that said what you said, I bet you they'd be suspended.
Because here's my thing.
Because you took an opinion. Your job is to present the news, which is just the facts.
Facts.
Even KCRA, Fox, all these companies that basically reported on this situation didn't create any narrative on what occurred. They only had the facts in place. Did the incident happen outside? Who was shot? How many shells was on the ground? These are all facts that they can find, and that's all they reported on.
Exactly.
The reporter didn't go on and say, "Oh, I'm gonna put my opinion on this. Oh, this person did this person did this, and this is where we're at." They didn't do that because they know they can't do it, but they're a reputable company. That shows you that you may not be.
Right.
So and it may be a learning, and maybe you new to this, and maybe this is a learning experience for you, but I think we have to be smarter with this.
What's funny is I'm laughing because imagine the scenario that this person, let's just say that what he wanted to happen would have happened. What did you want? You wanted everybody to come out and office go, "Oh, no, fuck no. Everybody stop. All y'all motherfuckers, because we don't know what they're doing, but they look weird. We know something's going on. We're going to stop everybody from leaving right now. Hey, we're going to investigate and go over there and be investigated." What the fuck did you want?
So you're alluding to the fact that this reckless
it's
person,
definitely someone that's unprivy unprivy to the process.
This-
Period.
this
Because
reckless
we
person.
can't,
they're
we can't
speaking-
hold
and-
everybody back
and they're
because we may
speaking
or
out
may
of-
not
and
think
this-
something's going to happen.
They're
That
speaking
sounds
out of
stupid.
ignorance. It's simple as
sounds
that. They're
stupid.
speaking out of ignorance.
This ignorant person basically stated that they assumed that security knew something suspicious was going to happen and that we should have done something.
And
Oh.
let me stop
Let's
you
just
right
say-
there. Let me
yeah.
stop you right there, because I'm on grounds.
You're there.
I'm
real
on
time.
grounds.
Right.
If we're tipped off to something, do they really think we're not going to stop what we was told? You know what I mean? Like if we knew something was going to go down,
Right.
like it's common sense. We're going to do the best of our ability to stop it.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? In a situation like that, I mean, how are you supposed to predict who's the shooter, when it's going to happen,
Who's he shooting?
and who's being
Who's he
targeted?
shooting?
And
Right.
it's
That's
not
my
even.
point.
It's
Right.
not
You know
even
what I
that
mean?
part.
That's my point.
I can even go deeper with that. You don't even know if it's going to be a shooting.
Exactly.
Facts.
Right. Facts.
Facts.
You don't know
We don't
anything.
know nothing.
Facts.
All you know. So my thing is the reason why I want to the emphasis I want to have on the comments and things like that is you're basically professing that security knew exactly what was going down.
Right.
Which pisses me off.
And then
Right.
they just said,
Oh,
yep,
let it happen.
everybody can go outside,
Let it happen.
get to your cars.
Get the fuck
Just,
out
Exactly.
just a couple
Yeah.
bullets.
Get
Don't worry
the
about it.
fuck outta
That's what
here.
you. That's the narrative and the picture that you're painting.
Stupid.
And not only is it inaccurate, it is reckless. It's irresponsible, especially. And I say irresponsible. That word is very important because you were trying to portray yourself as a news media company.
Right.
This, like I've said from the jump, we ain't but four dudes talking. That's it. We just giving our
Hold on,
opinions.
wait. You gotta say
Could you
it
please
right.
post-
We just
You
we
gotta
just
say
giving
it right.
we just four dudes talking. But
Nah, he
you
still ain't saying it
you
right.
you
Yeah.
guys
Rob.
Stop.
anybody that's with a news anyone with a news social media news outlet or platform, anyone that's actually a news platform, there's a certain responsibility that you have to have, and there's a certain protocol and procedure you have to follow when you're reporting stuff.
Right.
And this person didn't do that. They
Rob.
put their own opinions, their own emotions into it,
He
and they
hot.
thought they was gonna get clicks, which they did.
He hot.
He
Let him
accomplished that.
He hot.
Rob, please, please put their IG or wherever they are, who you're talking about, put their little face on top of the dude from Independence Day that goes, "You knew then, and you did nothing." Please post that. Please post it.
Is that the father of the
Jeff Goldblum's father from
Yeah.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
No. You said you know the bunkers, you had the bodies. You were the Area 51. You're the Area 50. You knew then,
Yeah.
and you did nothing.
Yeah. Shit. Well, it's just some serious shit, and to bring it back, obviously, America, we are, in my eyes, pissed off. Pissed off for two good reasons. The number one reason is we lost an iconic
A solid
superstar
dude. Period. We lost
to
a
Sacramento in general.
solid dude, man.
We lost him for reasons we still don't know why,
We won't.
which is okay. All right. I want to make sure that this motherfucker gets brought to justice. I need justice for him. That's all I got to say for that. Two, obviously we're pissed off because certain people want to push narratives that security's not doing the right thing, and they're never in the situation. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how quick things happen, how fast you have to react.
2020 is man. It's easy to go back and try to replay it back and say what shoulda, coulda happened.
And coulda.
There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, I would have done this if I knew this. I would have done this." There's a whole lot of Monday night quarterbacking going on.
In general,
There's a whole lot of that, and it's easy to say, and I get it. We understand it. It's the internet. It's social media. We understand how it goes, but unfortunately, when you put something out there in the internet, it's there forever.
Right.
And you don't understand those ramifications that end up arising from what you say.
Well, you can't say it's there forever because I screenshotted the shit, but he obviously deleted it. So
Which he should have.
Hey,
Which he should have.
it's out there though.
I mean, yeah, if he retracted, it's fine.
But who's they sources though?
It
You know what I
wasn't a
mean?
source. You can
Who's-
tell-
who's
it was
they
their
source?
opinion. It was their
apparently,
opinion.
from what it is the source is coming from himself.
He
Right.
was there,
It's
he
like
said.
we on site. Come to the real source.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people want to know what really went down. Come to the real source.
But that's not the point. it almost sounds
Warren
like it's a
saying, "Get him up in
clickbaity.
here."
It's a clickbaity type of situation.
For
Some people
real.
operate from a clickbaity situation. They knew, the person probably knew that they was gonna get a rise out of this, and he did.
Yeah, because I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I seen that shit, I was pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
For real, because I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm there. That was my job at that venue. You know what I mean? For them to come out and say something that reckless that we knew something was gonna go down. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what?
That's crazy.
We knew somebody was about to get popped. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Get him up.
And once again, man, Warren, I don't know how many times I text you. I don't know how many times I called you. I am just thankful that you're A-OK because I know you out there out front. And
Yeah,
man,
I even that was a crazy part because shit that night or that next day, I woke up to hella texts. Are you good? Like asking if I'm good. 'Cause they know I work tonight. I don't work on Sundays. So get that understanding.
but nah,
Got
man,
it. But I don't. So that for Warren, I was like, when I got those messages and I looked at our thread, and then it was like that you had already kind of reached out, basically you had already reached out to him at that point when I woke up, and I was like, fuck. I'm like, well, I'm good. I'm glad he's cool. But then I hear like someone's passed. So at this point, I don't know who. And then I'm having a conversation with somebody via text, and then that's when I'm starting to discover who it is.
Right.
And then I'm like, wow, really?
right.
And again, like we're gonna keep saying that, the condolences to the families. We really want you to understand from all of us. We all had an experience with Greg. We all had great interactions with him.
Facts.
And the dude was always a solid dude.
Always.
Came with respect. And he will be missed. He will
Absolutely.
be missed.
Absolutely.
And I know the kids that he helped coach and was teaching and part of the community, I know they're gonna miss him too.
Yeah.
And it's just sad somebody that has that type of influence or that type of effect, in a positive way, is not able to do that anymore.
That's the most important thing is what he left behind, his kids, his legacy, and then what he was doing for work, touching all those kids' lives, playing football. Because I know we all played sports growing up. We all look up to our coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from what I seen from him, he was a class act dude, stand up dude. So it just sucks, man. What happened that night, man? It sucks. It sucks to be there and see that man lose his life. It's like you never want to experience something like that, man.
He had a huge turnout yesterday for his vigil. And I'm going to just say this.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That
Inderkum High School football team, you better not let this go in vain.
Facts.
I
Show
need
up
y'all
and show
pushing
out.
24/7. I need y'all putting him on y'all back.
Show up and show out.
I need y'all to win another ship. I need y'all to get to the state. You hear me? Simple. I want to go to the game, baby. Let me see what's good, man. Let's make it happen, all right?
Right.
Ultimately, man, this is one tragic weekend, and it's supposed to be a celebration of independence and a 4th of July weekend. It's just crazy what's going on in this city. And right now, I definitely wish and I hope we have some type of shift for Sacramento in some way, because this shift that we've been going through, I like it. We got a lot of new buildings, a lot of new rises, a lot of new places. People are outside thriving in Sacramento, but then you got all this negative energy that just brings it all back down.
But does that come with the territory, though?
I mean, it shouldn't.
You know what I mean?
It shouldn't. It should be for the people who've been here and really know that Sacramento has not been a location for people to really come and settle down to and have fun at.
Right.
And now we having fun.
But with SAC striving for big city vibes, big city dreams, I mean, this comes with the territory,
big city problems.
Big city,
Right.
big city problems.
Right. You got more population.
So that we talk about the growth and how Sacramento's trying to go on the the upward trajectory. COVID has been the big culprit in all this.
Shit.
Oh yeah, it's been 2+ years.
We had 2.5 years deep, man.
Facts.
What do you think this is the last COVID summer?
This summer did teach me that it's not over, because I literally thought it was over. Shit opened back up, cases kind of went down, and then all of a sudden, recent months, cases they start skyrocketing.
Real quick.
You guys shouldn't be talking.
Go ahead.
Real quick before we
Switch shifts.
move on. Yeah, we have somebody in the
Comments?
chat. Yeah, shout out to Heather. She said security has so much happening they can't observe and monitor the damn streets too. Police should have been there. Period.
Okay.
On top of the girls hollering
Okay.
at us, we can't.
And then she said, "Crime is."
Shut the fuck up. This guy.
You know what's funny? You just said that, bro. What's so funny? I want to bring this up, and I was gonna bring this up. You know, it's a sad thing, so I wasn't really gonna talk about it. But you just said it, so I'm gonna bring it up. I never take a break on my shift, ever.
Me
Never.
neither. Me
Never.
neither.
Never.
I've never. I did it for the first time on Saturday night.
Never.
I was like, my knee was actually fucking up. I went hard on squats,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, my knee was fucking with me. So I was like, yo, fuck this. I'm gonna actually go take my break.
Right.
So I fucking clocked out, did my shit, sat down, and I'm just looking through the ESPN app. Man, I'm just trying to see if my Giants won. Bro, this chick come down and sit next to me. The music's loud, but I'm in like a lounge area, so there's nobody's dancing around, but the music's going on, right? I'm literally just sitting. She sits down next to me, and I could tell she's trying to talk to me. Bro, I'm so irritated because I just want to sit down and just chill for a second. Bro, why my response? I was like, I'm on break.
I'm on break.
Shut up, bitch. I'm on break.
And then,
Don't
and then
talk
she
to
just
me.
kind of got up. She had this weird look on her face, and she just kind of got up. And I was just like, I ain't gonna lie, I felt a little bit bad after. I was like, fuck. I was like, man, that was kind of
You on your break.
But I was like, I'm on my break.
Hey, this
Man,
nigga-
I'm
You
like,
know what she was trying to do.
I don't
though.
never
Reasonable.
take,
You
and
good.
that was the thing, because I was like, I never take one.
Right.
I never
Same.
do.
I'm saying.
And I'm like, the one time I actually sat my ass down, because you know that's sacrilegious when it comes to security.
Right. You
Man,
can't sit down. They
you
can't
can't
see
sit
you
down.
sitting down. Absolutely.
And for me to be able to just take my break, and I wanted to sit down, I wasn't sitting down for more than a minute. And it was just like,
Hey, Drizzy
bitch, I'm on
J.
my break.
Hey, Drizzy.
Thank you for Heather for understanding that.
But
we
thank
do,
you.
man.
My guy Tony over here smiling, laughing. He's like, y'all niggas don't take breaks? Nigga, I'm in there taking 2 breaks a day on my little shift.
He
Well,
was-
you take your breaks? You take your breaks?
He said, my bathroom breaks, I be taking 30s.
Chilling in the booth sometimes.
This guy over here. But no, Heather said something again that I want to continue to bring up because even before the show, I knew I mentioned it, and it was the whole shift for SAC when the downtown K Street shooting happened. We all pushed and we stated that a police officer is a deterrent.
100%, bro.
It is a deterrent.
100%.
And there is not that many venues downtown where we can't have late night shifts for police officers to be sitting out there getting paid.
Get Officer
Nine times out
Mahoney
of-
on the corner.
9 times out of 10, they're just chilling.
But
okay?
but you know what the crazy part is? They pulled up earlier in the night. They was there earlier in the night.
So we
You
can't
know what I
blame
mean?
that. They probably got a call,
They
had
got
to
a
go
call.
somewhere. But then
Well-
you should be paid by that staff
Well, usually
in
in
order
those-
to stay there
but-
for those hours.
But usually in those situations, it's usually an OT thing. They usually stay in OT, the ones that do.
Right.
But
The
that's beyond the point. I can understand from a practical standpoint that there's much more pressing matters that's going on than you just sitting out in front of a nightclub. I understand that there's way more things going on in the city that need their attention. But in light of what just happened with K Street, you had conversations with so many of the business owners and the commitment that was made that this is what you were going to try to do, and then for this to happen, it is just unfortunate, and the fact that it just so happened that they weren't there and this ended up happening. But I think it just speaks to that some of these spots that are more high profile spots that many people frequently, you know what I mean, patronize.
This is a venue that's either top
Right.
3, top 4
But that
in
you,
Sacramento.
but you need that type of presence to make sure that people have that safety. This, you know, at the end of the day, as soon as the gun's drawn, bro, all bets is off when it comes with security. So we have to understand that part.
Yeah, one of our past guests, Big Dan, he comments, clubs have to pay for cops.
I get that.
Clubs bid for police, but the city can't staff it.
So we need to talk to the city. We need more police officers. Start hiring. Get the academy.
I mean, we need to
fired
start.
up.
Maybe we need to start some fundraisers. Maybe we need to start something.
Facts,
within
and,
the
I,
community
and I've
to
been
get
on
people
that.
fucking,
I've
you
been
know
on
what I mean?
that since K Street.
Right.
I have been on that since K Street, but I don't want to also make it look like, you know, someone's not. You know, we're here for the community,
And we want
are
to make
here
this
to
clear.
try to give back.
We want to make this clear.
It's sensitive.
The police officers in this matter are not to blame.
They're not.
Not even close.
They're not.
Like, it's not even like not only that, they weren't to blame for K Street. They're not blamed for any of these situations.
Never.
Now we can come up with solutions and improvements so that these things don't happen again, or at least lessen the chance. But it's not their fault. Just like it's the same way it's not security's fault
Right.
in this situation.
Man.
But so we have to. But what
you
we're
understand?
talking
Oh
but
man,
what-
I ain't about that shit.
Just
already
clear it
know.
up. Who is the one to blame then? Just clear it up for everyone to know.
Damn,
The
people that
shooters.
shoot
The
us.
shooters
Thank
is the
you.
one to blame.
Thank you.
the one
Period.
the one with the
Point
cook
blank.
on, the one with the cook on his hip. That's who was to blame.
The cooker on the hip. I ain't
Cooker,
heard that
bro.
expression. Okay, I like that. It's different.
The one with the muni on his head.
The Muni.
Any other comments? Is that
Speaking of Dan,
was that,
Speaking of
The
that,
Muni.
the Muni's loaded.
riding around.
was that
with
the last? Was
The
that the last
Muni.
comment?
Dan commented. He commented one more time. He said, "Clubs beg for police, but can't get it. Why don't they reach out to other counties for OT? Why is there no armed security on the streets? If not, why is the city not providing it at no cost to entertainment?"
Those some good questions.
Yeah.
Main reason is the cost. No one wants to pay the price for armed security. They feel like we've been safe enough, but obviously these most recent to downtown, less than 6 months, should be stating to owners like, yeah, no, we need to pay for them. Not even just owners, to police officers, to police staff, council. We need more. And I think that was a great idea. Whoever mentioned Dan, thank you, Dan, for out of city. You know, maybe they're willing to get some extra OT. There's always places to look at. So.
Or Capital Protection Group gonna get some armed guards. And
I
put
mean,
them out.
obviously that's his
But
narrative.
and when it comes down, we also have to think about it too, man. With security, and then even to a certain extent with the police, it's all from a deterrent perspective and a motivation. I'll ask you, anybody in here got a security system at their house?
Yep.
So with that security system, does it prevent me
It
100%
don't
from
do
breaking your house?
shit. It don't do shit.
What does it do though?
It allows me to get footage for maybe later I can catch your ass on the street.
But what does it really do? So if I'm somebody that's breaking into people's homes, you know what I mean?
It's a deterrent.
I'm a night stalker. It's a deterrent. I
Right.
may not break into your spot because you got that. I'm gonna go check on the next spot. They ain't got no cameras. It ain't got no security system. That's the point. It's the same concept here.
Yeah.
Security is there as a deterrent. We're also there to de-escalate some of the situations because we're dealing with people that's intoxicated all night. So we're the only ones with reason that can make sure that these people not only don't have any issues, don't hurt themselves, don't hurt nobody else, they can get home safe. That's what we deal with probably is 95% of our job. When these type of situations happen, as soon as someone pull that cookout, there is what else is supposed to happen?
Say that again. As soon as somebody
Bro, the oven.
Somebody pull that cookout.
Yeah, that cooker.
We're going to a barbecue. Somebody pull that cookout.
That toaster.
Let's get to the cookout.
That toaster, bro.
We're gonna have some barbecue. We're gonna some fried. Anyways,
But what I'm just saying, when that ends up happening, there is no more talking. There's no more communication. There's no more de-escalation. At this point, you're trying to make sure that everyone that's in the vicinity is getting, cover,
safe, right.
and including yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that, and I think there's a false expectation, and that's why I speak to it, man. There's people out here being reckless with their opinions, and maybe you just were hot-headed, but you got to be smarter, and you have to actually choose your words wisely when you're speaking, especially when you portray yourself as a media company. That's all I got to say on that. That's probably gonna be the last time I bring it up.
Barbecue his ass because we got some other shit to do. Anyways, we already done it. No, I wanted to say one thing here is I did notice certain security protocols at a different location, literally right next to, because they were able to hear the shooting. It was that close. This is the first time I actually seen a fire alarm pulled during an active shooter situation. And I didn't know what to think of it at first. I think you pull the fire alarm and then people are going to run out of the building, which then makes them more targets, but they actually lock people inside. Pull the fire alarm and kind of notified the DJ because, music is blasting. But when the fire alarm goes off, kind of things shut down.
That could probably present potential problems, I would think. Yeah. I can understand in theory. I understand maybe the mindset is as far as pulling is notification,
right? To notify,
letting everybody know.
Hey, get down.
But that could
everybody get down.
But when you don't know where the threat is coming from, that may not be the smartest thing because then you're pushing everybody out. Now you're putting everybody's getting pushed in harm's way.
They locked them in, so nobody could actually go out.
No, what I'm saying is if you pull a firearm, the first indication is to leave the building and stay in the building.
That doesn't make sense.
Why would you stay in the burning building?
I feel you there.
So that's what I'm saying. That may not be the smartest. I understand from a notification standpoint and trying to get everybody to be like, hey, something's going on.
Right.
But your main job at that point is not necessarily to if you know the threat is a shooter, you don't want to be running outside.
Right.
Not unless the shooting is inside.
It was outside, of course.
But
but
right,
just
that's what I'm
saying,
saying. But when it's the threat is outside and the shooting is
doesn't
outside,
make sense.
you're not pushing everybody outside.
I looked at it as a way of them being able to kind of tell people to get down. If it notified the DJ to tell people to get down, because you never
That's
know
not
when
what
a
that's
straight
not
bullet
what
is.
a fire alarm is
They're
not
gonna be
intended
up
to do
and
that.
running out. Yeah.
I looked at it as a positive way of
Bro,
trying
everybody
to be
been through a
able to-
fire drill, bro, at school. Ain't nobody doing
Right,
that.
exactly. No.
That's ingrained,
That
bro.
makes
That's
sense.
like riding a bike. We
Anyways.
ain't gonna forget that. We
Anyways.
we
You're
dig.
supposed to duck under the table.
No,
With a
nigga,
fire? That's
That's
earthquake.
earthquake.
Oh shit!
Man,
yeah.
stop
God
listening to
damn,
this
bro.
nigga,
No
man.
more, bro. No, god damn, bro.
God damn.
We don't.
When by the when gonna get when this
Jesus.
wow I just
I didn't
picture
put this drink down.
hey why I just picture right now the place on fire, this big ass nigga waiting under the desk.
He picked, the desk ain't even touching the ground either. It's like,
I'm gonna stay safe.
Oh shit! Oh fuck yeah! I
You
did.
got your
I fucked up
protocols
on that
mixed
one. I'll
up.
give you that. I'll give you that right there.
how do we get from? Hold on.
Well, let's talk about the COVID situation that happened 2 years ago, because you had briefly mentioned that, and you kind of were going in the aspect of like, how is it now with COVID? I kind of miss early COVID days. Is that sad? Is that sad?
Nah, you
Because
missed
that was
them.
our smooth
You
handshakes.
missed them
You didn't-
handshakes.
I missed
bro.
that early COVID time. You know what I mean? Now it's just different. People don't give a
So-
shit.
so
They
you
sick
missed
as
the-
fuck, and they going out. They don't give a shit.
You miss the smooth handshakes. You don't miss the quarantines. That's what you miss.
Right.
I can say that only because even though
I miss quarantine,
someone
too.
in my family did get sick and they were
Traffic
very
was
ill
light.
in my
Traffic
household,
was light.
I was just about to say that.
Traffic was light.
it was a Thanos theory, huh? Thanos theory.
No, because some of us knew what was going on. Some of us knew. Okay, so my bad. I'm gonna shout out my own Red Pill station. We literally 3 months before COVID even happened, we were talking about coronavirus. We were talking about the fact that we were gonna lock down. I was at my job.
What's Red Pill Station?
Red Pill Station is my conspiracy theory channel.
All right, go
on
ahead.
Instagram.
Go ahead.
At Red Pill Station. So, and you remember this. You remember when I told Josh, I told him straight up, you are going to have to be forced to vaccinate to stay at this place. You're going to have to work from home.
And they
I
were saying
told him
crazy talk.
oh, that's crazy.
I
That's not
reserved
happening.
myself. I was like, I don't know.
Right. And I was telling everybody, you are going to have to lock down. You're going to have to get vaccinated to come back to work. This is what's going to happen. Why? Because this is all in the works. World Economic Forum. Look these people up. What they do is literally plan out what's going to happen year after year. They have a plan. Their plan is Agenda 2030. If you look this shit up, World Economic Forum, just go to them. So when you say the question is, it's 2022, right?
So,
We are 2
but
years deep.
let's stick to that though.
Right.
So
It says what's affected COVID, and it goes
On
what's
the
more to
nightlife.
come. What's more to come,
What's-
nightlife wise.
right.
It's going, bro. They're gonna do another. There's going to be another virus that they're going to put out there.
Monkeypox.
There's already been
Monkeypox.
other
And
viruses.
so, well, it's not going to be monkeypox. That's a big reason why it's not as contagious. So when you look at things like what the World Economic Forum talks about with Bill Gates and everything like that, they've literally already announced. There's one video I want people to watch, and the only one place that I know of that you can watch it is on BitChute, BITCHUTE, www.bitchute.com. When you go there, type in Plandemic 2. You will literally see the World Economic Forum plan this out 4 months before we knew it was coronavirus. They talked about what we were going to have to do, and this was just a plan. That they were just saying they're just exercising for this virus.
Like in the Avengers. Remember that part of the movie in Avengers?
Right. They literally planned this out, and guess what happens? 3 months later, we have Corona, then we have COVID-19. We have that whole incident happen exactly the way they planned it out. This video not only points out that they knew they were going to do this, Bill Gates is in there talking about the new virus that this. He literally says, yeah, you know, this virus, you know, it was effective, but just wait till the next one comes out. He literally said that.
I've seen
Wait till
that.
the next one comes out.
I've seen that.
If you go on my Red Pill station, you'll see an old lady with a blue mask on her face. That's the cover. I think it's like the cover video or the cover photo, the thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
So you'll see her on there on my Red Pill station. Click that. You'll see Bill Gates literally talking about the fact he talks about passports you'll need to basically travel, like vaccine passports. And he literally talks about the fact that we're going to put another virus out. So yes, I believe nightlife is going to see another virus come out because of the fact that these guys already have it in the works for the 2030 agenda.
So
What's crazy is what you said.
so wait a minute before we get into that, because I'm more of
We all wanted to dive in on his ass.
well, no, but I'm like I said, I always repeat myself. I'm always an in-game person. So that being said, let's say that happens, or any other situation that's going to cause any type of effect on society where we have to make a change, right? Do you think it's ever going to get back? The change is going to be similar or the same pattern as what we had to do, like a lockdown?
It won't be similar only for this reason. There's going to be stricter things in effect. So when we saw certain people still staying open, I don't think they'll be able to afford staying open because of the new parameters they'll put out, because we will have a cashless society at this time, and they won't be able to get cash just on the side, or they'll have to have an app, and I believe that the government will shut those apps down and people won't be able to go there. This is only going to happen when they can create a cashless society, and that's going to happen between 1 to 2 years. They're going to start with coins. Oh, there's a coin shortage, which they've already done.
Well, they've done that.
Then they're going to jump to cash.
But to say that there's not going to be no cash within 2 years, that's a little far though.
Yeah, there was a little far for people getting vaccinated. I'm calling out the fact that I believe it's going to be 2 to 3 years when they pull this out. It has to be before 2030.
Well, I think it's easier to mandate a vaccine quicker than it is to say there's no more cash. That's hard. There's too much cash out here.
Depends if we have it. Look how things are going right now in the country. Look at the crashes that are happening right now on Wall Street and everything else.
I don't disagree with the cashless society. I probably disagree with the time frame that you give.
The time frame, okay, 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the concept of cashless society. That
it's already happening.
I agree with that.
It could go to max.
I think it's going to take a little bit longer. It might be 5.
Right. It could go before, as long as it's before 2030, because the agenda is literally called 2030 Agenda. World Economic Forum constantly talks about it. That when they have the society, we'll have a safer society, a better society. They coin it as like a good thing. This is a very, very good thing for society. But if you're anybody in the workforce right now, it hurts so many people in so many different types of ways. People that put their money away, they're gonna say it's to help fight and combat drugs and things like that. But you're really hurting like the main workforce, security, people that get tips, people that get money here and there off to the side, that get it a little bit different than.
Well, the government don't want that though anyway.
Right, exactly.
They want they cut.
Right,
they don't want no off the side money.
They're gonna keep track of everything. So once they're able to do that, it's not you're not gonna have nightclubs that stay open. There's not gonna be a nightclub that can't.
They don't want you getting that because they want their shit.
They'll do another lockdown, but this time they'll say you're locked down. By the way, all apps are locked down. Nobody can get food. Government's gonna come by and drop your food off.
Heather says, "Say goodbye to those smooth handshakes."
Right.
Shit.
Need them smooth cash apps.
I had a few of those.
Smooth Zelle.
Apple Pays.
But think about that. Think about
Few of those.
bro. They're gonna be walking up to us
stupid
like,
as
bro,
hell,
I got
right?
Hey, bro. Modern problems deserve modern solutions.
Facts.
But here's the
Keep it
thing,
going.
bro. Think about that as security. We're gonna basically be like, man, hurry up, give me that 100. Boom, boom, boom. IRS sees it. We got 100 from so and so to get in. Now I'm getting taxed on that. You know what
That
I
is
mean?
true.
It's gonna
That
suck.
is crazy, man. When I did notice the tax on that, when you do anything, I think over $600 or something like that,
That's how they start.
Like it's crazy.
And they'll do everything.
That's just crazy.
They'll get lower.
Yeah.
That once they let them in, bro.
Yeah.
All they got to do is change it. No,
Keep
we
it
changing
going.
it to 300. No, we changing it to 25 cents.
Right. Facts. Everything.
That's all they got to do.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
say you do 4 people for $100. You're gonna be like, it's gonna be 140 because the government's gonna tax me.
Facts.
One more.
Facts.
Hey,
You gotta
that's
prepare for that
wild.
tax.
You gotta give me the money for the
You
tax.
gotta, yeah,
Dude.
prepare that tax.
That's like those transactional fees. You know, when you pull money out, they be like, all right, we got to charge you $2.85 to pull this money. You got to add that into the charge of the of the product. But
Truly.
Instant 3 to 7 business day free.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. Yo.
But let's bring us home when.
Well, man, I do want to thank you guys so very much for tuning in to another special episode of, About the Night.
Number
Episode
29, man.
29
29 strong.
And I definitely want to once again give my condolences to Greg Grine's family,
Absolutely.
loved ones, and friends, significant others, because, Sacramento is going through this change. And as much as we all continue to say we got to do better, we got to make this shift, Sac. Got to make this shift. Shift for Sac. Don't ever forget that. But I definitely do want to thank you guys for tuning in to the live show. Definitely don't forget to go ahead and give a like. Go ahead and comment. As you can see, we definitely will, shout you out during the
thank y'all,
live show.
When you guys
Appreciate
come on live, please comment.
Thank you,
We'll
Dan.
address
Thank
it.
you,
please,
Heather.
please.
Appreciate that. But once again, you're rocking with the best crew. Got my guy behind the ones and twos tonight. War ready with a 3, not an E. You know what I mean?
Make sure y'all check up on Warren, man,
Man,
when you see him, man.
Tap in with my guy, man.
And I know the spots that a couple of the spots that's they're gonna be closed due to what happened.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Much
to
respect
kinda
to those spots for doing that. Much respect.
Giving people
Please
time
go to their spots.
if
know where they're at.
reflect on that time frame. But man, when y'all see Warren, man, tell him, shout out, Had that conversation with him.
Yeah, war ready with a 3, not an E, man. Make sure he doing good.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget about my main guy over there. We got Suede_like_coach and this motherfucker. And don't forget about the guy on the other conspiracy theories with the Red Pill Station, Mr. Tony WSJ Aura _official.
And don't forget about Fire thinking it's earthquake.
Oh, I thought he was finna give me my love. This nigga, I got my hands up and shit. He's like, oh, don't forget about, yeah, Fire, earthquake.
I'm gonna start calling
get the
you,
fuck out of here.
I'm gonna start calling you Earthquake Drill.
Man, King of Sacramento, man. We out this bitch, man. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in.